Sit here and discuss right and wrong and good and bad in eternal understanding and in truthful terms, right? So, I used to get really insistent and not self, and take it personal, you know. You got to understand, you got to do this, you got to stand up for this. I don't have to. What's wrong if you're crazy? So it used to bother me, but it doesn't bother me that much anymore. Well, life's eternal and grace is infinite. But I used to take it personally. I used to, it's like, because you're trying to tell your kids, you do know, okay. The way I explain it, I don't explain it as like God is watching, and when you do this, I have said that to my family, like when I was doing stuff early in here to stop all the human trafficking, and that's what was my main thing that was bothering me the most. And my sister said and told me, Earl, they shouldn't be coming here illegally. I was like, hey, Pancha, your Jesus had to hear that. Okay. You're going to say that in front of Jesus? Jesus is sitting there saying, we should live the Lord's Prayer so little girls aren't getting raped to death migrating from South America to the United States. They shouldn't be coming here illegally. I said, forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. I didn't say vote for a president that makes money off of little girls getting raped to death. Okay. So it's not a question of, does Barack Obama know who I am? Does Donald Trump know who I am? Does Kristi Noem know who I am? Does Palm Bandy know who I am? Does Kash Patel know who I am? That's irrelevant. Does Elon Musk know who I am? The Koch brothers know who I am. Okay, because Susanna Martinez knew who I was. Okay. And I had a job for Marilee Ortega, who worked for the people that were, the progressive Democrats, who are the main financial supporters of the Obamas. So, but do the Obamas know who I am? It's irrelevant. I'm right. They're wrong. I'm good. They're doing bad. I caught you with your backfield in motion. Gonna have to penalize you, right? Offside and holding. So, it does hurt when your family is quoting you the Bible and telling you all this stuff, and you're like going, if I wanted to read the Bible, I'd read the Bible. Okay? There was too many mathematical errors and fallacies for me to read it every day. Because then I'd be trying to decode it instead of talking to the people that live it and saying, okay, I'll do what's right so we live it. And that's what I do. And then you're just crazy. I'm crazy. I'm an egomaniac. All right. You're studying a book that could be written down by the devil to get you to think you're doing right, but you're mass murdering people over money and believing it. Okay. And I'm talking to the people that say it's wrong to mass murder over money, so believe in the Lord and live his commands, right? I don't understand. It's crazy. I'm not a crook, right? And so it's, it used to bother me, but now, no. I mean, it's disturbing, but I'm not doing it, like Sheldon's mother, aren't you proud of that? Why, it's not my achievement, right? With her kids or whatever and stuff. Aren't you proud that you raised a kid that will stand up for the Lord's Prayer without fear because you taught him to love Jesus and talk to Jesus and trust Jesus with all his being? Well, then that's partly your, quote, achievement. Life being eternal and grace is infinite. You have to point your kid in the right direction and say, here's the right thing to do, and you have to believe in it because it's right. It's true, right? So don't my mom and dad get had a boy and girl for that one, right? And you have to be able to be intelligent enough to understand when you're being lied to and when you're being manipulated by a liar. And when you should say, okay, that's it, I'm done. This is bullshit. Well, if they kill you. Okay, they killed Jesus. They killed Peter. They killed Paul. Okay? For them getting up and saying, that's wrong, I'm not going to do it. I will only stand for what is right so people understand what is right. I'll be an eternal light on righteousness, right? So it's dippity ding dong dippity do, watching the foosball game. I've seen lots of games with Arkansas State and Lafayette, Louisiana, They're just Louisiana now, the Louisiana Raging Cajuns, because the Aggies were in the same conference in the Sun Belt for years during just about the whole, almost the whole Tony Samuel era here. I think they're in the Sun Belt almost the whole time. Always finished second to North Texas, right? But shoot, but yeah, so I'm quite familiar with the Raging Cajuns and the Indians. Okay, Red Wolves, Indians. I know they were the Indians when I was watching them. They changed their names to Red Wolves. It was pretty recently, wasn't it? It was like 2006 or 7, something like that. It was somewhere like that. Like it was long after the. This is around the same time that the Northeast Louisiana Indians changed their name to the Louisiana Monroe Warhawks. Right? It was kind of around the same time. They're both Indians. So yeah, and it was in the 2000 and it was around 6 or 7 or something like that. Yeah, so when they changed their name. But yeah, no, the Fighting Huron in Eastern Michigan, that was like back in the 90s or it was 80s, a long time ago, which is a drag because that was one of the coolest names. Yeah. Fighting Huron. I think that's one of the coolest, yeah. I had to change it to the Eagles, like the Fighting Sioux. I'm like, what was wrong with that? Somebody have a bitch fit? That's a good name. Why is it? It's the Dakotas. They're in the Dakotas. It only makes sense that they're the Fighting Sioux. What was that? Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Like the Apaches not complaining about Cochise College and the Seminoles not complaining about Florida State. I guess it's just the people, I think, it's just trying to honor, at least they were called savages and things like that, They call them Fighting Sioux. I think that was like honoring the, and they asked the band to play the song Dixie for you, Johnny Reb, and all that you. That's the way I saw it, So I was like, now Indians, that was kind of goofy because it's like, no, they're not Indians. No, that's not true. They're not Indians. You're crazy if you think they're Indians. They're not Indians. Okay, Indians are from India. This is not India. Do you understand? Thank you. So, yeah, no, they're not Indians. Well, Christopher Columbus is full of shit, man. You understand? This goofy ass, what's that? Clashe or whatever made to do. That is so dumb. I don't think the Romans said, like, let's go or charge. Maybe you ought to say things in Latin. Or did they think they speak Latin? I don't know. I know that I was taught in school that the pronunciation of Caesar, that's a Latin pronunciation of it. The actual, not Latin, but a different form of Latin pronunciation. Caesar is more of like Spanish, but the actual pronunciation and the sound of it in old Latin, the way they said it would have been Kaiser. That's why the Germans referred to their leader as Kaiser. It's like, get out of here. No, seriously. Oh, wow, that's weird. So the way that language adapts and manipulates and it's what? Yeah, it was like this. It's like that. So it's like that. It's like the whole Rio Arriba country thing. That we, when I was in college, we had to say a lot of things in Spanish class. It was hard for me because he was teaching us Castilian Spanish and everything would say with a lot of lisp and stuff. And I was like, no, I'll get my ass kicked if I talk that way in New Mexico. Okay. I was like, I want to learn to speak Spanish, like a Spanish, like a speaking person, not a Habsburg with a lisp. And so they had a lot of the things you had to say, and same with my high school teacher. They say it like this. I was like, yeah, we don't. I'm from New Mexico. We don't say it like that. Okay. No, we don't say things with a lisp. We're not Habsburg. Yeah, one of the Habsburgs was this king, and they had a lisp. And so he had a lot of the words in Spanish where you say them like this. And you're like, no, seriously. And that's real hard for people from New Mexico. Um, Ralph is really nice. He's real sweet and he loves us and I love him very much. And he's the best. I love him. He's so nice. I'm so glad he's the Messiah and not macho idiots or assholes like the Habsburgs that say things with a lisp. But there's nothing wrong with having a lisp. It happens, okay? You're funny. It happens. The way people speak. Letter B. The letter B between the letter A and the letter C. Letter B. Speaking words of wisdom. Letter B. Learn to be intelligent and understanding and be a good person. And life will be so much better. If you're a coward and you're afraid of speaking up for the truthful Lord's Prayer, like Nesta told David, money can't save you, son, right? And that's for that. So, yeah, it's true. And, or it's for that. It's for that. It's for that, really? Seriously, it's for that. No, I'm not making fun of you. Shut up, okay? I'm talking here. It's for that. I'm funny. I don't care what you assholes think or say. And I do it all for free. Because I love children and want them to live the freedom of the Lord's Prayer, and money's for assholes. So kiss the fuck off, you sorry ass assholes. You suck. Okay, so it's for that. The little guy with the Christmas or whatever Winterfest stuff in El Paso. It's the best, thing. It was cute. They had a little the community center thing. They had an ice skating rink, and the kids were ice skating. And Lauren was trying not to fall on her ass. I'd fall on my ass. I ain't putting me out there on those things. Hell no. I'll fall and bust my ass, man. That's not fun. That shit hurts, man. And my body is very still fragile, and my hips hurt when I bend over to get the basketball and stuff. And that's something to look forward to. Hey, you can recover. Yeah, just keep going. And what's the opposite? So you die? You die? And my big thing has been just feeling people that are praying to Lord Jesus to save them and heal them. And me trying to reach them and say, stand up for the Lord's Prayer so we can all do it. And they're not listening, and it hurts and it's hard. And you get a lot of people that believe in their alter ego is Lord Jesus. And I'm like, no, he's not your alter ego. He's not my alter ego. No, he's Jesus. He's righteous, he's good, and he's true. He's pragmatic, and his faith is based on reality, like John said in the book of Revelation. And so it's, you can't expect, that his water came from, because he touched it, he's told that his water came from the rock. And son of a bitch, guys. It was because he did this. No, it wasn't because of that. Okay. That's magical thinking. That's bullshit. Okay. Don't believe bullshit. You'll ruin your life, and you'll ruin your children's lives. Believe in the beauty of the Gospels, the pragmatism of the Gospels, and the reality of the Gospels, and live them. Okay? Don't expect a magic solution to save you from you accepting lie over truth. Right? I'm correcting artificial general intelligence and quantum computing worldwide right now as we speak. And all the people that think we've got it under control and his phone isn't doing a damn thing. No, neither is my Xbox or my Sanyo. Okay, not doing a damn thing. Or the tech. Or the scan disk. No, not doing a damn thing. I'm not doing anything important, anything special, or anything beautiful, kind, faithful, loving, or brave. I'm just an arrogant asshole who thinks that my capacity to kill people with technology and get them to accept my money as reality is everybody needs a fucking robot and then we'll end poverty. You do know that's clinically insane, right? No? Seriously? We destroy the ecosystem building robots. Everybody gets a robot and then we end poverty. Because the robots kill all of us. Robots don't live in poverty. Because robots don't need food. And if they know how to rebuild and repair each other and stuff like that, that's all they'll do. They don't shit. They don't eat. They just got a brain that tries to beat the other person's brain because their brain is the greatest brain in the world. You got the bowling ball, the cone is in your fucking pocket. Now go burn your theory in the bathroom and take down the shower curtain before you go burn your theory in the bathroom. Son of a bitch. We suck again. Zootopia ass motherfuckers. Okay. But you do know I love you, right? The glory, the beauty of our life is given to us by the glory of God and not by our imaginations. And we didn't invent our lies. Okay? I love you. All right? Peace out.